Howdy, I'm Kahnda, and welcome back to my forever world. I have one thing that I gotta do before we get into the video today, because I keep forgetting, but I'm not going to forget this time. So the name for my ghast will be... cut to when I'm over there, so that I can give it to her, maybe do something funny with this. Well, you can't see it. Come back here! Come back! Well, she made it difficult, but her name is Calypso. My thinking with that is that she's over by this island here, like Calypso's island, and also the Odyssey currently is like big thing, so it was on my mind, so ta-da! My happy ghast, sweet Calypso. Okay, back to the house. So, the plan for today is a little bit more ABBA caving. I have done this before a couple of times, so I'm not going to go in depth with the rules, but I've got this book here. ABBA caving is essentially a thing where I go into a cave with night vision and silk touch, and then I gather as many materials in there as I can in a 25-minute time period. At the end, these are the point totals for each of the items. I add it up, and then if I beat the point total from my previous time, I get to keep the materials. My first time I did it, I had 316 points, so you know, pretty good. But then the second time that I did it, I was in the mesa biome here, which I didn't put in the book, I need to fix that. But I got 856 points, which means I'm going into this thinking I'm probably not getting these materials. But you never know, it might happen. So let's go ahead and put this up. And I've got a bit of torches. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking my armor's going to break, but that'll be okay. I might need to grab a water bucket if I have the iron for it. I have a bucket for it. Okay, gonna grab this just to be safe, because there might be lava anywhere in the cave. Ooh, and I just noticed I have my subtitles off, so I'm gonna put those back on because it's nicer to be able to cave with that on. Okay, subtitles back on. We got torches, let me switch those so that's... got my thing home, got a flint and steel, I shouldn't need that. Got a golden apple just in case. I have to note that golden apple is already here. Does not be, that's not added to my totals. Slow? Okay, cheap, I'm gonna go find a cave and we shall be back. Also, as I'm heading out there, I should tell you the plan for while I'm doing the caving this time is that I'm going to just record it and then do a voiceover, and I'm going to answer some questions that people send in and just kind of introduce myself a little bit and do a little bit of a get to know me thing, because I've had a lot of new people tuning in lately and I just wanted to, I wanted to do a little get to know me thing. So I hope you enjoy. So I found a cave. We're gonna see if it actually is gonna be a good one or not. I haven't explored very far down it, but yeah. I hear you. You're not gonna push me off this mountain. Okay, I don't need that. So, I don't have the stuff for potions yet. I do have a silk touch pick, which is going to make this a lot easier. But for night vision, I'll just be doing this. So, oh, that turned on. There's night vision. Okay. And let's go ahead, start the timer now. Oh, I didn't turn my timer on. Wait, I know what I'm doing. I've done this 2 other times before, and actually starting the timer. Time for voiceover Kahnda. I made a post a few days ago asking if anyone had anything they wanted to know about me, so let's jump into those responses first. Deliberate Delirium said, "You just don't become a computer scientist out of college, or do you?" If you haven't seen in my bio, I say that I am a computer scientist. This isn't entirely untrue, because I did study computer science and mathematics in college. However, the job that I currently do involves copywriting and copy editing for marketing firms, so you technically are right. there are people that were in my program with me that I know did get computer science jobs out of college, and then I know some, like myself, that didn't. I guess it just kind of depends on the person. I still really enjoy doing computer science and mathematics both, and I do hope to do something with that in the future. I think the field that I enjoy the most is data analysis, and I've gotten some certifications in that over the years, but it's been a while since I practiced it, so I kind of would like to maybe incorporate some of that into my videos for some of that practice. I actually had this idea for the month of August, like maybe halfway through August, to start doing some videos where I talk about concepts in math, like probably starting with like calculus level stuff to help people that are taking calculus currently, or like taking upper level classes. Maybe if I don't want to jump into the really advanced stuff first, but I also want to do some review for myself because oh my gosh, how long has it been? It's been like 8 years maybe since I took Calculus 1, so I definitely need that review. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I hope y'all enjoy that whenever it comes out. Deliberate Delirium also asked, what part of the US do you hail from? I am from Texas, but I don't want to get much more local than the state in general for safety purposes. I picked the whole intro I do, which is to say howdy, back in 2021. I can't remember if in the very first commentary video I did, which was the compound, I can't remember if I said howdy in that one, but I know I don't have like a super thick southern accent most of the time, but when I was watching back my recording from that time, I was kind of shocked to hear how much I do have, and then I was like, what if I just like play into that? And so I decided to make my intro howdy. And now I've seen, if anyone has seen her, Clover, the Moo, she's a VTuber that she's got a cow model. She also says howdy, but multiple people say howdy, so. Let's see, so Eagle Eye asked, what made you choose your profile picture on YouTube? So, the specific profile picture that I have is actually from one of my friends. She's an artist, and her name is Mori, and she actually has been in multiple videos of mine in the past. In the Happy Guest video, she's in that one. And then if you go way back on my channel, I have Dead by Daylight videos, and at that time she went by Uta. So that would be the friend that made the profile picture that I'm currently using. Now, if you're curious about like the reasoning behind the design, it's got a bunch of snakes and such, and also the round glasses. The round glasses are because, I mean, not right now in real life, but whenever I made my first profile picture way back in December of 2020, I had those round glasses. So I was like, I really like these. I think I want to make it part of the brand, you know? Also, I'm digging out the dirt because the cave had kind of come to an end and I was hoping that I would find another cave through it. I didn't, but time to just go mining and see if I can find something else. But yeah, so that's where the glasses came from. And so the snake part of it. So I think I talked about this in a video from 2023. It's a video about my dad, and it was shortly after he passed. And I was talking about stories with him, and I wanted to tell everybody about the fact that my username and the whole brand that I go with the snakes came from him, actually. So he nicknamed me Anaconda when I was a baby. Because my name is Anna, and, you know, Anaconda, it just works. Same preface that I did in that video, I will say again here. I'm going by Kahnda on this channel. Please do not call me Anna. My friends in videos can, but that's just a boundary I want to set. But anyhow. So yeah, that's where the snake motif kinda came from. Eagle Eye also asked, if it's not too personal, are you religious/spiritual? I am a Christian. I haven't talked about this on my channel, I don't think, because one of my goals when I first started the channel was to create a safe space, and I know there are a lot of people that have been hurt by Christians. But my faith is part of who I am, and I don't want to shy away from that either. So, yeah. That's all the questions from viewers, so let's see what I can tell y'all about myself. So, if I'm talking about myself, it's something that I feel like I always have to mention at least a little bit. I am chronically ill, but I have a whole video about that I posted back in May, so I'll tag that up in the top right corner, I think is where it's gonna be, so you can check that out there. I also love reading and writing. So, like, and that's been a thing since I was a little kid. I remember when I was really young, my parents would have me read the Junie B. Jones books to them, and that was a really sweet memory from that time. Also, mining in this little water cave, kind of scary. Like, especially, yeah. Anyway, and since, oh my goodness, 10 years ago, 2016, I got like a boost of reading again. I don't know, I can't think of the word for it, but I got like reinvigorated to start reading again, and I started keeping track of a reading goal, and then just like from every year since then, I've had a goal for how many books I wanted to read. So for this year, the goal has been 25, and I went through a period of reading a lot of books. Like, I read 3 books in 3 days at one point, and so I can tell you all a little bit about that. I've read 18 books, by the way. I don't know if I said that. 18 books so far this year. And the period that made me read 3 books in 3 days was when I started reading Stephanie Garber's Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is very much, it feels like a fairy tale. Like, I'm sure there's inspiration from fairy tales, but it doesn't feel like a retelling of any of them. It feels like a new one, and it just felt so, I don't know, Stephanie Garber just has really vivid storytelling that I get just totally drawn in by every single time. I read her Caraval series back in high school, and then that was like coming out through college too, and every single time I was just like, she's one of my favorite authors. So I was, as soon as I finished the first book, I was like, I have to get the next books. And then I read the entire second one in one sitting, almost, basically. It was like all day, I was like, I need to read more. And then basically same thing happened with the third one, and I was like, wow, what am I gonna do now? So yeah. And I also love to write, so I've been writing a book since 2015, and it is a dream of mine to someday get that published. I'm trying to think, I don't want to give too much away. It's a fantasy setting of sorts. How much can I give? It's kind of got steampunk inspiration for the world. There are 4 continents, and one of them has taken over the other 3, and it's the story of these people that are trying to win back the freedom of their continent, and then later on, hopefully, the rest of the world. So, I hope that, like, gives some information without giving stuff away. So yeah. I actually struggle a lot with talking about myself, which is funny that I'm making videos where like the whole point is to talk and to talk about yourself. I actually had a time in an interview where they were asking me about like what community service I had done, or like how I had helped my community. And my mom was like overhearing the interview from the other room, and she was like, "Are you serious? That's all you remembered?" Because all that I could come up with was like, I helped clean the trail with my church one time. And she was like, "You helped in a coffee shop, okay, my mind went blank again, but apparently every time I'm put on the spot to come up with stuff, I'm like, I don't remember. But, yeah. So, let me see. Oh yeah, I've been watching Marvel movies again. I didn't watch a lot of Marvel growing up. It was kind of one of those, I watched it if my dad had it on the TV kind of thing, but I had never, like, sought it out myself. Until I was a freshman in college, and the Avengers Endgame movie was coming out, like, that spring, and I was like, you know what? There's so much hype around it. I want to catch up. And so I looked up a chronological order of all of the Marvel movies, made a little checklist on my phone, and I was like, okay, I basically spend most of my time in my dorm room, do homework, spooky noises, do my homework, and then just kind of watch YouTube videos, watch movies. Why not? And so I binged all of the Marvel stuff that was out until then in that semester. I think I was only like a few away when Endgame came out, but I did go see Endgame, and I really enjoyed it. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm kind of hooked on this whole Marvel thing. So stuff came out. My next like memory of it was Black Widow coming out. It came out, I think, sometime around my birthday in 2020, maybe. And so there was this whole thing where me and my parents got it on Disney Plus because Disney Plus was this new thing at that time. And we watched it. And that was a fun day. And then, let's see, next memory I have is when Loki came out, season 1. And my dad laughed at me so much because I get very into the stuff that I'm watching. And so, like, I gotta share this without spoiling any of it. But there were moments that would happen, like there was a reference back to the first Thor movie, and I was like, oh, that's so cool! I think I laughed at it, it was a funny reference. And then there would be moments where, you know, the characters are in danger, and I'm like, no! He always would say that, like, it was almost as funny to watch me watching something than to just, like, watch the thing itself. So, I have a lot of good memories from that. And then, just this past week, I went and saw the new Spider-Man movie. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I really enjoyed it. I heard that there were a lot of references to, like, the video games and such. I didn't play the video games, so I didn't catch those references. But yeah, I don't know if I can share anything else without it being spoilers, so. What else can I talk about? I've got about 10 minutes. When I was telling my mom about this video, she was like, well, you could tell them about the fact that when you were in high school, you were a drummer. And I'm like, well, but I don't drum now, so, but, you know, it was more than just high school. From, like, 5th or 6th grade until senior year of college, I did drum. Yeah, music has always been a really big part of my life. When even talking about writing, reading, watching movies, anytime I'm reading or writing, I love to have some kind of soundtrack going on in the background. And then when I watch movies or watch shows, I'm always noticing the music, and it's fun to notice, like, these things. I learned about this, like, it was sometime in college, but I can't remember exactly when, but there was this channel on YouTube, which, if I happen to be able to find it, I will link it. I haven't seen them in years, though, so I don't know if I'll be able to find it. But he did these, like, analyses of how the music went with the movies that were being shown, and the one that I remember the most was a How to Train Your Dragon analysis, and it was about how the music fit so well, and, like, sometimes you're able to tell a story just as much with the music as with anything else going on. And so I learned about these things called leitmotifs, which I didn't have, like, I didn't have formal education beyond, like, jazz drumming and drumline in high school. So I can't tell you a lot of the technical terms of stuff, but, so I might have this wrong, but I think leitmotifs were, like, these little, like, segments of the song that you'll hear over and over again that pertain to a certain theme or a certain character, something along those lines. And, like, oh my goodness, I watched the Dark Knight trilogy for the first time last summer, and the music from that trilogy was one of the things that I noticed the most. So, like, there might be mild spoilers for that trilogy if you haven't seen it yet. Just as a warning. Also, diamonds! This cave was a really good cave. So, something I noticed, I picked up on, like, oh, that was scary, the diamond almost fell in the lava, but it didn't. So, got used to what was Batman's leitmotif in those movies. And so, you can hear it playing throughout the first and second movie. And then as I'm watching the third movie, I'm like, the beginning of it feels, like, chaotic and super, like, not... What was the word for it that I used? It was like, everything felt just out of line. Nothing felt cohesive, and I was like, that's kind of weird, like, this is... I was, like, I'm not sure about the movie yet. And you can hear it in the music too. Everything's kind of, like, fighting against itself. But then, at a certain point, which it's been about a year since I watched the movies, so I can't remember what the point was, but Bruce Wayne kind of gets, like, re-centered and grounded again. And you can hear in the music where it shifts from the really, like, discordant vibes to the leitmotif again of him and Batman, and it was just really cool seeing that shift and being like, oh my gosh, all of the, like, everything feeling chaotic was part of the story that they were telling. So, yeah. It's fun. I really enjoy analyzing things, I guess, which kind of ties back to what I would like to do in computer science is data analysis, because I guess I really enjoy seeing the patterns and stuff and finding sense out of those patterns. Like, whenever I see graphs of the data and then you see, like, these big spikes and you're like, well, why did that happen? And, you know, the whole correlation is not causation thing, that's a big thing. And so it's like, it's fun to pull the data and you'll see these spikes at the same time and you're like, well, why did those happen at the same time? And it's not necessarily that they caused each other, but you can sometimes look at what was going on at that time and you'll see that there was some reason that pushed both of those metrics to spike at the same time. I think I'm kind of talking in a circle about that, sorry, but yeah, It's something I enjoy seeing on my YouTube channel as well, because I guess as viewers you might not see all of this, but there's a behind the scenes in this thing called YouTube Studio where you can see those analytics of how your channel's performing. And so you'll see, like when I posted, there was a short that I posted from Subnautica 2 where I was trying out this glitch that I had seen, or what I thought was the glitch that I had seen, where like you use this item and it flings you up into the air. And so I was like, oh, you know, cool clip, let's post it. But then in my analytics you can see where I posted it and there's a huge spike in views because that video just popped off. And so it's like, oh, that's really cool, the views went up, but then you see the analytics. Oh, so there were so many creepers. But I managed to get rid of them. But when I look at my analytics, then it's like, but now it throws off the average and everything, and so throughout the time after that, YouTube's gonna be telling me like, well, your views are down, and it's like, well, they're not really down, because before that huge spike, everything was pretty steady. There was like a little bit of growth, but it was like steady growth, and then those kind of outliers really throw everything off. And so yeah, it's fun seeing those graphs behind the scenes to see everything and figuring out. Oh, I looked away for a second and the sound of the creeper hissing scared me. But yeah, so at some point I kind of want to go in and study those analytics a little more and do a deeper dive on like what stuff works well, what I can do to improve. And y'all can help me with that too. But yeah, let's see. I've got a couple minutes left. Let's see what I can say for a couple minutes. Oh my goodness, I was going to talk about like my favorite video games and I completely forgot about that. So I mentioned this a little bit in I think one of my more recent Skyrim videos, but my favorite, I think probably my favorite game of all time is Undertale, which I've talked a little bit about, which is a very story-driven game. Again, the music, amazing music. I believe the game developer was a composer first and then made the game afterwards. I'm not 100% sure about that, so, you know, but I think that's right. And that was a story that I saw when it came out, and it, like, yeah, I loved it. And then probably my second favorite game would be Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which I know is kind of a controversial take in the Legend of Zelda community, because it was very different from previous games. I didn't really play the previous games, so my first experience actually playing a Legend of Zelda game was Breath of the Wild. And the feeling of exploring that world for the first time, and like the music that plays whenever you're riding a horse for the first time, and well, the music plays all the time, but you know, you hear the music start playing, and there's the different music for when you ride a horse at night, and it's like, it just feels, it's a great feeling getting to explore that new world, and it's so immersive. And I'm noticing that kind of feeling with Skyrim, and I think that's why I'm enjoying that game so much. And then probably I'd have to say for like my third favorite would be Subnautica, or like the Subnautica franchise in general. I've got like 15 seconds left, but yeah, I've talked about it some in my Below Zero series, but there's just something really special about those games. But that's it for the Get to Know Me segment, and the timer's about to go off, so yeah, thanks for hanging out. And yeah. And that's time. So I'm going to head back up, and then when I get home I will calculate all of the things and let you know what the score was. Okay, so altogether I got 49 coal, 33 copper, 93 iron, 48 gold, 59 redstone, 5 lapis, and 10 diamonds. So the total points for today as long as I calculated them right, are 655. Which means that even though I did get a lot of points, that was a good showing, I don't get to keep these materials yet. But that'll be okay, because that's a lot. And now, next time, when I mine again, I'm just gonna have to beat 655, so that hopefully I will get those materials and the materials from that mining session. So, I have a feeling I will be doing this again very shortly because I got a lot of diamonds there that I would really like to have. But for now, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little better. I'm recording the voiceover for that after I record this, so I hope that goes well. And I will see y'all next time. Oh, but next time, by the way, the month of August is going to be a whole lot of Skyrim. So yeah, y'all look out for that. And I will see y'all then. Bye! Is that the SpongeBob song? They're playing the SpongeBob song!